The Science of Getting Rich by Wallace D. Wattles. You've been told that wealth is for the lucky, that success belongs to the few, to those born under the right stars in the right families with the right breaks. But what if that's the greatest illusion of all? What if the ability to create wealth is not a privilege, but a science, exact, spiritual, and available to everyone, including you? Wallace D. Wattles called it the science of getting rich, not a philosophy of greed, but a revelation of divine order. Because abundance is not a matter of chance, it's a matter of consciousness. You begin to see that wealth is not about money, it's about alignment. To be rich is to live in harmony with the laws of the universe. Everything that exists, seen and unseen, flows from one source, a formless intelligent substance. That substance is not distant or abstract. It's the life that breathes through you, the energy that responds to your thought. When you think and act in harmony with that intelligence, you attract supply in every form: money, opportunity, inspiration, health, love. Because the universe cannot refuse the consciousness that reflects its own nature. Wattles teaches that thought is the creative power of the universe. Everything that exists began as an idea, a pattern of thought impressed upon the invisible substance. When you think a thought with faith and purpose, you are shaping that same substance. Your mind becomes the mold through which the formless takes form. This is the first great secret of wealth. You do not chase money, you become the consciousness that money naturally flows toward. But how do you do that? You begin by abandoning competition. Wattles says, the moment you enter the competitive mind, you have lost the creative flow. Competition is based on fear, the belief that supply is limited, that others' gain is your loss. But in truth, the universe is infinite. There is no shortage of wealth, only a shortage of belief in abundance. When you compete, you separate yourself from the source. When you create, you unify with it. You move from the thought of not enough to the knowing of always more. And in that knowing, you begin to rise. You start to see money differently. It's no longer a symbol of greed, but of expression. Money is simply a tool that allows life to expand. When you use it rightly, it becomes a channel for greater good. Wattles says that to be rich is to fulfill more of your potential, to express more life, more beauty, more service. To deny yourself abundance is to deny life the chance to express itself through you. Poverty is not holy. It's a form of resistance to the infinite. Abundance is the natural state of a mind aligned with creation. You realize that the desire for wealth is not selfish, it's sacred. It's life-seeking fuller expression. Every flower reaching for the sun, every soul yearning to grow, is obeying the same divine impulse, expansion. When you desire more, you are not being greedy, you are being divine. So you begin to think in a certain way. Wattles calls it the certain way, the way of thinking that aligns you with the creative process. To think in the certain way is to hold an image of what you desire and believe that it is already forming in the invisible. You don't beg, you don't doubt, you don't chase. You think it, feel it, and move as though it's already on its way, because in truth, it is. Faith is not a wish, it's a creative knowing. The moment you think a thought of abundance, the universe begins to organize itself to fulfill it. The only delay is your own disbelief. You must live in a state of grateful expectancy, gratitude for what already is, and joyful anticipation for what's coming. Gratitude connects you to the source. It's the vibration that keeps your channel open. Wattles insists that the science of getting rich is as exact as mathematics. It works by law, not luck. And the law is simple. Whatever you think and feel deeply, you attract. Whatever you fear and resist, you delay. So you begin to guard your mind as you would a sacred temple. You no longer dwell on lack, envy, or fear. You think only of what you desire to create, not how it will come, but that it will. You refuse to think of failure. You refuse to talk about limitation. You affirm only abundance. Because every time you focus on lack, you impress lack upon the formless. But every time you think richly, you create richness. Your thought is not powerless, it is prayer in motion. Now you begin to act. Because thought alone is not enough, it must be united with action. Action is thought made visible. Wattles says, by thought, the thing you want is brought to you. By action, you receive it. So you take inspired action. Not frantic effort, not fear-driven work, but calm, purposeful movement toward your vision. You no longer wait for conditions to be perfect. You act now, from where you are, with what you have. And that action, when guided by faith, multiplies itself. Every step you take becomes magnetic. Every gesture carries creative force. When you give your best to each moment, life gives its best back to you. You also begin to understand the deeper nature of success. You don't get rich by taking, you get rich by serving, by creating value, by leaving everyone you meet with the impression of increase. This is one of Wattles' most beautiful teachings. Leave every person, every place, everything you touch better than you found it. When you radiate the feeling of increase, when people feel uplifted in your presence, you become a magnet for abundance. Because the universe always expands through those who expand life for others. You are no longer asking, what can I get? You are asking, how can I give more value, more beauty, more light? And as you give, you receive. Because giving and receiving are one movement of the same energy. You live now in the creative plane, not the competitive plane. In the creative plane, you know that your good cannot be taken from you. You stop comparing, stop competing, stop resenting. You trust that your supply is infinite and personal. You live with calm assurance that everything you need will come at the right time in the right way. And it does. Because your outer life now mirrors your inner certainty. You begin to see how the invisible substance responds to your thought like a loyal servant. You think of opportunity, and it appears. You think of abundance, and new channels open. You think of gratitude, and your blessings multiply. This is not coincidence. It's law. Gratitude becomes your constant companion. Each morning you wake and silently give thanks, not for what you hope to receive, but for what you know is already forming. Gratitude keeps your mind connected to the source of all creation. It transforms waiting into faith, and faith into demonstration. You no longer feel anxious about money. You feel aligned with its flow. Because money is only energy, a reflection of your state of consciousness. The richer your thoughts, the richer your experience. Wattles also warns about idleness. Faith is not sitting still and dreaming of castles in the air. Faith is movement, guided by vision. When you combine thought, faith, and inspired action, you become unstoppable. Your results are not measured by time, but by alignment. When your vibration matches your vision, manifestation becomes effortless. This is why Wattles says, there is a thinking stuff from which all things are made. A thought, in this substance, produces the thing that is imaged by the thought. It's not poetry, it's physics of the soul. The more you practice this science, the more natural it feels. You stop forcing and start flowing. You stop begging life and start co-creating with it. You realize that to be truly rich is not just to possess, but to express. Wealth is not measured in what you have, but in how much life flows through you. When you think and act in harmony with this truth, your surroundings begin to change. People are drawn to your energy, opportunities appear, Synchronicities become daily occurrences. You have stepped into the current of abundance, and that current carries you effortlessly forward. And now you understand the true science behind getting rich. It was never about chasing, striving, or competing. It was about remembering your creative nature. You are a channel of the infinite. You are the instrument through which the universe expands. When you think richly, you are thinking God's thoughts. When you act with faith, you are moving as divine intelligence in form. The more you allow abundance to flow through you, the more you fulfill the purpose of life itself, the expansion of joy. So now, you live with quiet mastery. You think only of what you wish to create. You speak only words of increase. You act only from faith. You expect only good. You are no longer the beggar at the gates of the universe. You are the heir to its infinite wealth. You walk in the world not as a seeker, but as a creator. You no longer say, I will become rich. You say, I am rich, in mind, in faith, in being. And as you claim it, life proves it true. Because the invisible always obeys the one who knows. Wattles' voice echoes through time. There is a science of getting rich, and it is an exact science, like algebra or arithmetic. Certain laws govern the process of acquiring riches, and once these laws are learned and obeyed, a person will get rich with mathematical certainty. You feel the truth in those words. It's not a metaphor, it's a map. The law is already working, the substance is already moving, and you are already creating. You close your eyes, you breathe deeply, you feel the presence of that infinite energy moving through you. You whisper, I think in the certain way, I act in the certain way, I live in abundance, and everything I desire now flows to me in divine order, and it does, because now you know. The science of getting rich is not about acquiring things, it's about becoming the consciousness through which the universe gives. You are no longer hoping for wealth, you are living as wealth. And that, Wallace D. Wattles would say, is the true science of getting rich.